Hey guys, Joseph here. Welcome to this video cast. Now, it's my 29th birthday today, and I wanted to do a little video and talk to you about a very close subject to my heart, and I absolutely love it, and it is actually the subject of love itself. Now, when I say love, I don't necessarily mean just with someone else, because that's how we tend to think of love. But I really mean falling in love with life, falling in love with who you are. One of the keys to my success in doing what I do is because I come from a place of absolute love. I come from a place where I want to help as many people as possible. And that has meant that I've had to learn about business. I've had to learn to be able to do so much. And it comes from a place of love. And hopefully you get that from me, from my audios and my podcasts, my products, my Android apps, iPhone apps, the free confidence program. They were all produced from coming from that place of love. And I think it's one of the most valuable things that you can learn to really excel in life. Because love, if you come from a place of love anyway, it means that you're actually aligned with the greater good. You're aligned with everything that you do. Every part of your neurology is in sync with your truest desires. I also think that love in itself just does away with fear, lets go of worries and anxieties and fears, and I want to touch upon that very soon. But the main thing right now to know is that when you come from a place of love, you are able to excel in every area of your life. And whether that be in your health, your career, your relationships, and that special relationship with yourself, if you have that love there as well. And also when it comes to materialistic things like money. I really believe that it's up to us to take control of our life. To no longer buy into reasons, or what I would even say excuses at times, as to why we can't achieve something. Because if we give our power away to a reason or an excuse, it completely disempowers us. Like I said, we are giving our power away. We're actually moving ourselves and becoming just simply an effect of life. When I was writing my book, Be Your Potential, I came up with this quote. It just kind of came to me. And it was, rather being a product of life, allow life to be a product of what you choose to create. Now let's think about this for a moment. If we're buying into reasons, excuses, or even expectations of others, it means we're living in that world. We're actually pushing everything outside of ourselves. Therefore, we're just simply an effect of life. Now my aim, you could say a covert goal I always have for you guys, is to ultimately to be empowered, to take responsibility and give you the power. A lot of people say thank you for all the things that I do, but I always reply and say, look, although I may have shown you some things or guided you, but it all came from you. It took you to take responsibility to say, hey, something in my life isn't quite working and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be free of it. So it really does start with you, and it is maintained by you. Yes, there's absolutely beautiful resources out there in the world. And that's a great thing to live in this age where we can actually share so much information. It's ultimately what I do for a living. Obviously I have my paid job, which is like the CDs, the downloads and things like that, but I absolutely love helping as many people as possible. It's why I recently created my free confidence program, which really goes heavily into how you can excel in life, have self-worth and self-love, and to really transform and transcend every aspect of who you are, so you really live life fully. And I did that because I really want to help people, and it's coming from that place of inner alignment for who we are. And that has allowed me and my business to simply grow by many ways, where it be through financial gain, but more importantly, the feedback I receive, the love that I receive. So my real thing for you is that if you want more love in your life, whether you want more love in your health, you want to be able to give love to your health. So if you want something in return, it's so important that we go ahead and project it into our life. Even when it comes to healing, I mean, I am absolutely not a medical doctor, but when we think of the body being unwell, so let's take the word disorder. There's a disorder within the body, or there's a dis-ease of the body, so there's a lack of ease in the body. And many doctors know this, and they always, all the ones I speak to, say that illness comes about through external things which causes the body to get stressed, and it breaks the good chain of health. So when we think about this for a moment and we project love into our body, we're ultimately becoming more whole and content, because if you have love for every aspect of who you are, biologically, your body is becoming whole, and therefore we get ease in the body, we get order in the body. When you think about this as well, when we come into this world, we're completely a blank canvas. And then things happen to us, stuff happens in life. It's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to you. And ultimately we get imprinted, and we can become a bit conflicted in the beliefs that we hold about the world, the values that we have, the limiting decisions we may have made, or negative emotions that we experience. Now I want to light up literally your neurology to a greater way of living full of love. And when it comes to healing and health, then it really is important to have love for your body, to take time out to look after yourself and to give yourself the healing. Now let's take it on to relationships as well. We all know, we've always heard that in order to have a relationship, you must love yourself first. And we hear it all the time because it's ultimately true. No one else can give you the love that you need if you haven't got it for yourself. Because when you have love for yourself, it's unconditional when other people love you, because you just know that how much self-worth that you have, so much enlightenment you have because of that self-worth. So really, when we have more love in ourselves, we're ultimately able to attract more loving relationships. So if you want more love in your life, when it comes to relationships, family, give more love, project it out there into the world. It is an absolutely powerful and immense way of making and transforming every relationship you've ever had, and more importantly, the relationship with yourself. Because when you're truly in love with yourself and you actualize that love in everything that you do, issues just simply disappear. They just are no longer an issue anymore. In fact, my theory is that when we have absolute love for ourselves, we're fully living in the moment. And therefore, if we take the concept of living in this moment, if we're living in this moment, we're ultimately no longer putting our attention onto the past, where issues have come about. And also, anxiety and worries disappear because we're taking away that energy we've been projecting there into this moment of love. Or if you don't like the word love, by the way, even let's change it to even happiness, contentment, fulfillment. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But when we're putting our attention on this moment, on who we are and how powerful we are, even if it takes time. If you know a little bit about me, I used to blush, be self-conscious, not feel good enough about myself, and it was a real struggle at first to begin to love myself. But through time, by dedicating time to myself and exploring the inner world of me, I began to realize the special qualities that I have. And that's not coming from a place of ego. Ego is something which people may have come up with to hold us back. And also, if we're coming from that place of really ego, we're not having the greatest, highest intent for ourselves in the world. But when you have absolute pure love for yourself, you are ultimately coming from that congruency, that inner alignment, that absolute pure self-worth. And that is every right that we should have. We should have that right to be able to do that. And that's why I've created all these programs. I mean, my podcasts have been listened to, or all my work in total has been well over 700,000 times now. And which is a real honour for me to know that at 29 years old today, that people are really listening to my messages. And it's ultimately my own personal truth. Whatever you take from this is absolutely fine. But going back on track, when we have our love for ourselves, You just transform every relationship, every friendship, everything you do. And even if we just consider our career now as well, our business, if we own our own business, or if we're in a job or a career, or even if you're not in the right one, the best way to excel in your business, your career, is to love it. To love what you do. And I really believe that you can do that. Maybe not in the present job you're in, but if you wanted to, you could either learn to love it, to get that passion toward that job, or find one which really is in alignment with you. Because when I do all these audios, going back to me again, when I do all these audios, it's expensive for me. I've invested a lot of money in my own time in recording over 100 hours, in hosting it, producing it, paying people to develop programs for me to make it easier on me, and it's very expensive, but I'm coming from that place of love, and therefore it's a joy, it's a passion, so it's not work for me. And even if when I'm working with my clients, my trainings, my seminars, my audios, my products, it's a place of love. It's a place of wanting to share some certain information that I've learned or acquired in my own experience, or my own learning experience, that I want to get across to the world. So when you begin to love what you do, it's no longer a job for you. It's an absolute passion, and it's a joy. And I work a lot of hours because I enjoy doing so. Yes, there is always that balance, and I've recently had some time off for a whole month, in fact, working very little. And that's important because, once again, that goes back to relationship with self and having that importance and dedication to who you are as a person. So we've covered our health, our relationships, and even career now. But even when it comes to physical things, let's say money, for example, money is not a bad thing. It's absolutely not a bad thing. You can choose to treat it badly. People do use money for bad things, but money's not a bad thing unless you choose to use it for a bad thing. You see, that's allowed me, doing my work has allowed me to invest my own money in helping more people. So it absolutely means that money can be used for so many wonderful things. And when you develop that healthy love for money, and by healthy I mean full of respect, one without fear or scarcity, you're able to attract more. So if you want more money, begin to love it more in a healthy way, because therefore you're fully aligned with all this. Where it be materialistic things, when you begin to love what you do and have those loving thoughts and associations, everything reevaluates in your world. You're actually projecting and perceiving a whole new world, because everything is made up by our own perception of life. Whether that be through our beliefs, through past memories, through how our personality type is. When we come from that place of love, we're absolutely transcending those own internal perceptions. So you begin to see and lift up the illusionary darkness that you are fully a loving person and you're worthy in every way. So when it comes to money, when it comes to health, when it comes to relationship, when it comes to career, and when it comes to that relationship with yourself, the more you give love, the more you begin to associate love, your brain begins to look for this. And we may call this the law of attraction. It could be something like that, because when we're having that in our mind, we're sending it out to the world or our higher self or the universe. If you're not too into the law of attraction, that's fine as well, because ultimately your brain is hardwired to the point that whatever you put your attention on, it looks for more. That's why when we learn a new word, or we decide when we want to buy a new car, we begin to see it pop up everywhere. Our brain is literally looking out for more things when we put our attention there. So if you're putting more attention on love in your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, your brain, its job is to look for more of it. And because you're coming from that pure alignment, you're seeking out new opportunities for you to take inspired action on. So where we think of the law of attraction or the metaphysics side of things, or where we just go into psychology, it all comes down to the same thing. Wherever your attention goes, that energy flows and expands upon it. And it's really important to take time out for yourself. Because when you take time out for yourself, even if it's for 10 minutes a day, to fully appreciate who you are as a person, or every time you look into the mirror you send loving thoughts to yourself of how wonderful, how empowering and how worthy you are, your neurology changes, your brain changes, the neural networks become strengthened into seeing this new light, beginning to resonate with the world and really feel everything it has to offer when it comes on the inside. Now, when you think about this as well, when we put our attention on the inside world of us, when we put our attention on the inner relationship with ourselves, when it comes to our health, our money, relationships and career once again, it means we can project that out into the world. So when we do this, you're absolutely transcending every area of your life. You're coming from a place of inner alignment. And like I said, if love, the word love, is a little bit woo-la-la, I like talking about the woo-la-la stuff things once in a while, but let's just change it to happiness, contentment, fulfillment, gratitude, bliss, inspiration, whatever it is. The more we project out there, the more we acquire back into return. If we're projecting fear or anxiety and worries, then ultimately we're attracting more thoughts like that, or looking out for opportunities at an unconscious level which may be worrying to us or fearful to us. It's time to change things now and go down the new way of thinking. And ultimately, I believe that is coming from that place of happiness, bliss, excitement, contentment, fulfillment. And when you do that, you are, in every way, you will see a whole new world before your eyes. You'll be able to fully experience life for what it has to offer even. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my birthday now. And for more information about me, go ahead and visit my website, josephclough.com, and also facebook.com/Joseph's fan page, which has lots of hypnosis, free giveaways, competitions. There's one today, in fact. And also the exact same thing on Twitter, which is twitter.com/Josephclough. And also, finally, on either one of those, you'll be able to find my 8-hour-long free confidence program. You don't have to sign up to anything. You can stream, download it. It's there for you to use, transform, abuse, and to share into the world. However you want to do it, take advantage of it, because it goes into so much depth, and the feedback you'll see on all the comments is absolutely immense. And that's one of those things coming from the heart, from me to you, that is such an empowering way, because it came into fruition by wanting to share my own personal truth about the world, and ultimately my own personal truth of how special and how loving and worthy I think you are as an individual. So until then, I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.